It's not clear where you stand between those two issues, and what do you mean by us and you?
Us. There is still you and us.
Asante, and it would be great if I could get some sort of response regarding it. For the last bit, you say let's have land for the dignity of our people, but how about taking away the hard work of others and taking away their dignity? How does this move us forward as a nation? Brand awareness thing that goes around, I am African, that pulled on people's emotional strings. I'm not saying that's necessarily the right way of doing it, but what is it? What is our brand moving forward?
There will never be us for as long as there is no equal ownership of this country. If you have arrived, it's good for you. It's good for you. But you and us refers to the owners of the means of production and those who supply their cheap labor to survive. Majority of our people are going through a lot. And I'm not going to be pretentious and say, it's not taking us forward, you and us. No, there's no us. There's no us. We are fighting to have us. As things stand now, and it's not Malema's problem, it's an apartheid colonialist problem. They divided us. They reserved jobs for you. They reserved economic opportunities for you. 1994 did not dismantle the legacy of colonialism and apartheid. That's why Mr. Santa says there is still an economic apartheid. So in apartheid means we are apart. There's them and us. Deny it. The reality is there's them and us. I want Santin and Alexander to be one thing. To be one thing. But there will never be one thing because Alexandra is for the blacks and Santin is for the white minority. The haves and the have-nots are subjected to that congestion in Alexander. So we will never address the issue of racial division if we do not agree and speak to the reality that we are divided because ownership is racially divided. So I'm not taking any dignity away from anyone. My sister, you have a dignity. We also want our dignity back. We have no dignity. We walk like we are ashamed to be here. Especially now at night. We do not enjoy the streets of Cape Town. Because we know that we are made to feel like we do not belong here. As we walk, we are treated like we are suspects in our own country. So we are not going to be coming here and saying to you, we are nice, we are enjoying it. We are not enjoying anything. We are not enjoying anything. We are still subjects of an exploitation in this country. And exactly this attitude of denialism is the one that perpetuates apartheid. Economic apartheid we have is because you are in denial. No, there's no, it's good. Emotions must be high because that's what truth does to people. It gets their emotions very high.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Santo, you want to respond to that? And then we've got a question at the back, and then we've got a question here.
Okay. Look.
In this video, Mr. Julius Malema, the leader and founder of the Economic Freedom Fighters, shuts down this Indian woman for bringing out these misleading statements. So let's keep watching this video as he reviews more about issues happening in South Africa. Then we'll come back here and discuss further about it. But before we watch the video, If you haven't yet liked this video, kindly like the video and also subscribe to the channel. Let's watch the video together.
I just want to say, and I really want to say this, that a function like this shows the good side of South Africa. We're at least talking to each other, and it's a start. So, you know, just get used to that idea.
Thank you very much. Donovan, do you have a question at the back?
Kaiches Atuwak Tama Kamske. It means, in my ancestral language, our struggle continues. Mr. Malema, you have no authority to talk about land ownership. The Khoisan is the only authentic voice that can talk about land. We were the first freedom fighters fighting the colonials when they came here 360 years ago. We were the first people of this nation. We were the first people of Southern Africa. And today we still face oppression. This country's history did not start in 1910 when the ANC was established, nor did it start in 1994 when you went to a democratic dispensation. We lived here, and you, your ancestors, and the white ancestors found us here. So we can only talk about land ownership as you found us here. The indigenous people of South Africa and Southern Africa needs to be restored. That was taken from them by the invaders. I thank you.
I'm not sure there was a question there. If there was a statement, would you like to answer?
Well, I think that you are extremely missing a point. Me and you are Africans. And this land you are referring to and the whole of Africa was one thing until the colonialists came to divide us. So you must never see yourself as being something different from what I am. Otherwise, you are inviting self-isolation. We, the black African majority and the Khoisan, were one thing. And we are the only ones who can speak with authority about the Africa, the continent of African majority. So don't take away, I'm not from Europe. My ancestors are not from Europe. This Africa belongs to Africans, and that's what the Khoisan are. Don't isolate yourself, my sister. This solidarity will help us to defeat colonialist and apartheid legacy.
Thank you very much. We've just got time for 2 more questions. I'm taking 1 question here and 1 question down there.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Vuisa Kabaka. I've just got 2 quick questions from the CIC and Mr. Santa. First of all, Mr. Santa, I just want to fundamentally disagree with you around the ability of South Africans to start businesses. You made a couple of examples. And what I'm going to premise my question around is the whole point around economic infrastructure investment in townships in South Africa and the lack thereof in the last 20 odd years in South Africa. So I just want to ask you, what is your take around the inability of the current ruling party to invest in economic infrastructure to enable and unlock? Because again, poverty in South Africa sits in the townships of this country, and yet that's where we're not creating infrastructure for economic enablement. For the CIC, I just want to say that those who feel it know it in Cape Town. So I do agree with you around some of the sentiments you've already made, but specifically to ask you to comment around 3 core areas that you have not specifically spoken to. 1 is the economic CODESA that Mr. Santa speaks of. Your take on the economic CODESA in the context of what you've spoken about today, around those who are enabled and who've had centuries old of enablement in the context of economic CODESA, the National Development Plan, and the context of what the EFF speaks to around the National Economic Development Plan, and lastly, the fictitious black middle class that we all speak about, that is again fundamentally funded through state-owned infrastructure, whether it's government agencies, it's government companies, or it's government itself, that's creating this fictitious black middle class. I want to hear your comments around that.
I think we are in agreement about the economic CODESA. We needed to discuss about the land and how that land can be transferred to all. We needed to also discuss the worker share schemes. We need the economic CODESA to also deal with localization. Lot of chain stores in the country do not even buy local products. I mean, textile industry used to be something very big, especially here in Cape Town. But it's no longer that big because it has been undermined by cheap products which are brought into the country and sold by some of these chain stores. So how do we buy locally? How do we protect the local industries? And also, we need to discuss, Mr. Santa, about the minimum wage so that we close the wage gap, the apartheid wage gap, the minimum wage, and whether indeed through such intervention we will be in a position to help grow the economy. And the decisions of the economic CODESA, they have to be binding. They must bind, and then those are the decisions which will inform ultimately legislation and policy which is to be adopted by the state. So it is important that we have that a conversation. And I think we'll have that conversation because this is how it starts. It starts with us. And once we reach consensus through these types of engagement, then we say, how do we formalize some of this consensus that we are reaching through the continuous dialogue that we are having. But if we were to go to an economic CODESA when we are still far from each other, it will not be a very productive CODESA. We ought to genuinely liberate the mindset of our people and win them over so that they begin to appreciate that it is through genuine, legitimate economic freedom that our people will realize true freedom.
Welcome back. So in this video, there was a panel discussion where one of the panelists or the lead panelist was Mr. Julius Malema, who is the leader and founder of the EFF, that is the Economic Freedom Fighters, which is in South Africa. Now, the EFF has, through the efforts of Mr. Julius Malema, fought for a very good cause for Black people in South Africa and Black people all around the world. One thing that I am very hopeful of, or I like about Mr. Julius Malema, is that he fights for all Black people around the world, and he's not limited to only Black people in South Africa. Now, there are a lot of issues that are happening in South Africa in terms of economic ownerships. Now, he has stood in the gap and he has been able to stand and fight for people, Black people in general in South Africa, because they were being oppressed, they were being marginalized, and all other negative things associated. But he has been able to stand in the gap and fight for Black people in South Africa, even Black people all around the world. Now, when you tune into the media, he's one of the topmost personalities who is talked about a lot on the continent of Africa for his Pan-Africanism. Now, he advocates that Africa needs to work together. Africans need to be put together. We need to unite in order to fight a good cause. Whenever South Africans discriminate against any African from any part of Africa, be it a Nigerian, a Cameroonian, a Ghanaian, or any other part of Africa, now Mr. Julius Malema fights for such people in the sense that he holds the ideology that we are one people. The continent of Africa was one until the colonial masters came and then they divided the continent for themselves during the Berlin Conference. So he believes that the continent of Africa is one and the people of Africa are one people. So he fights for Africans all on the continent of Africa and Africans all around the world. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also don't forget to share this video with your friends and family on other social media platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and other social media platforms. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Just locate the subscribe button down here. Click on the subscribe button. Click as well on the notification bell. And I'd like to see you again in my next video.